We begin this midday with an update to breaking news we've been following in North Tulsa since early this morning. Crews busy with a big cleanup job after a Burlington Northern train derailed overnight, coming off the tracks in 3 sections. This happened along the 1-mile stretch between Yale and Sheridan, just north of Pine. 2 News reporter Patricia Santos has been at the scene covering this story all morning, and she's there live now with more from the train company. Patricia?
Hey, that's right, Justin. I want to show you in the background right now. You can see crews working the train derailment right now. This is very impressive. Already they have moved about 8 of those vehicles right side up. Right now they're telling me that the weather conditions, the very muddy ground here is slowing them down. But you can see all of the trains already lined up here on the side of the road. Most of them carrying brand new Kia vehicles. Of course, all of them will have to be sent back to the manufacturing company to be scrapped. But Tulsa Fire Department telling us it has been years since they have seen a train derailment of this magnitude. Crews have started the difficult task of moving roughly 20 railroad cars from the crash site. Cars carrying thousands of dollars worth of new vehicles and other cargo. Witnesses say the sound of the crash was just as impressive as it looks.
But this was a continuous bang for a while, and it was loud. I thought, I'd hate to think that'd be a derailment.
Minutes later, Tulsa fire crews were on the scene.
Our initial role was to make sure that there weren't any injuries, and that we didn't need to do any rescues. And there was a hazmat spill. Had a diesel tank under one of the engines that was carrying about 3,000 gallons of diesel fuel.
It was spilling out from the locomotive engine into the storm drain system and into an underground creek.
They had to get out and actually walk through the creek beds and determine how far it went upstream and downstream. It's pretty level right in there, so it actually migrated upstream a little ways.
Crews say they were lucky this time. A derailment this size could have been bad.
If they're carrying something else, then we've got a lot of other issues, and we may have to evacuate or, quarantine areas. But that wasn't the case here.
Back live on the scene now. Crews telling us it will take several days to actually clear the ground with that diesel that was spilled, but the water should be cleared by the end of today. And Burlington Northern officials have just arrived on the scene here to tell us exactly how this happened. Now, Justin, I want to tell you that these are Kias here, Kia vehicles, but just up the street, that is where the Mercedes are. Live in North Tulsa, Patricia Santos, 2 News works for you.
News begins right now with breaking news.
And that breaking news happening in South Tulsa, multiple shooting in what is normally a quiet neighborhood.
1 man is dead. 2 News reporter Patricia Santos live near 71st and Memorial with the very latest on the search for a suspect this morning. Patricia?
Well, that shooting happened about 5 hours ago, but at this hour, Tulsa police still trying to get a suspect description on this. I'm going to get out of the way so you can look at the scene right now going on. Tulsa police officers, the coroner's office, still investigating the scene here. We know the funeral home has just arrived to pick up the body. The shooting, the triple shooting, happened inside the garage here of this South Tulsa home. 2 News was there as EMSA carried out one of those victims. We understand he is in stable condition. He was taken to the hospital. Police got several calls from neighbors about shots fired around 12:45 this morning. When they got here, they found 3 men had been shot. They haven't been able to identify them, but we understand one of them is in critical condition and the other one is dead. Inside the house, a child and another resident who was sleeping but heard the disturbance and then stepped out to find a bloody scene.
It appears that 3 subjects were inside the garage when a car pulled up. There were some words exchanged, and then several shots were fired at the residence.
Officers on scene here very tight-lipped about any new information that they're finding here. Since we have been here this morning, we can tell you we have seen them pull out a lot of evidence from the home, including a shotgun. We're going to continue to stay on the scene here and bring you the very latest on this breaking news story. Live in South Tulsa, Patricia Santos, 2 News works for you.
Continuing our coverage is 2 News reporter Patricia Santos. She is live in the heart of Midtown, surveying the damage there for us this morning. Patricia?
Well, Dina, I got to tell you, crews have their work cut out for them this morning. This is in the area of 41st and Riverside Drive, and you can see behind me a very large tree just pretty much collapsed over the fence here. There's a wooden fence, there's also a brick fence, pretty much destroyed the fence there. And you can see right behind us here, it is blocking the roadway. Cars are not able to get through. Some cars we saw earlier this morning were trying to get across through the grass here. This car unfortunately got stuck because, again, it's been raining all night. The grass and the ground is very wet. You're going to have a difficult time driving over that, and you could run a risk of getting in trouble like the driver here did. Now, Tulsa police this morning urging drivers to drive with caution. We want to show you some video that we got earlier this morning. Here's why. There's flooding in the roadway. This is in the area off of 31st and Rockford. It is still very dark out, and the roadway is very hard to see, although people were just flying through that intersection, and of course being slowed down by the water in the roadway. Just a few blocks away near 31st and Yorktown, power lines were torn down. You can see the strong winds just pushed the limbs on top of the power pole, cracking it down. The power is out in that area, but it's very dangerous because you never know if those wires are alive, and also all of that debris on top of the power line may fall down on drivers driving through. We're seeing a lot of large limbs and debris scattered on the roadways and residential areas around Midtown. Now, Tulsa police urging you to drive with care, keep a lookout. City workers and Tulsa fire crews are scrambling right now to get all of this cleaned up before rush hour, but police telling us they have a lot of work ahead of them.
We're going to need some equipment, some tools, and some people. We're going to have to get chainsaws out, probably some winches and things like that, just to try to get some of the big pieces out of the road that will allow traffic to get through. It's not going to happen fast. We're going to do everything we can to get probably the main arterial streets as clear as we can.
Again, power is out in many areas. That's why I'm wearing this vest so that drivers can see me out in the dark. Police officers reminding you that stoplights are not working right now. That means you have to stop when you come to an intersection to make sure it's safe. Live in Midtown Tulsa, Patricia Santos, 2 News works for you.
The latest now on that breaking news out of South Tulsa we told you about at the top of the newscast. An apartment fire at 79th and Wheeling. 2 News was first on the scene, and that's where we find 2 News reporter Patricia Santos. Patricia, what's the latest?
Hey, we're live at the scene of River Park's apartment. You can see fire crews getting this fire under control right now. When we first arrived about 15 minutes ago, the flames were just shooting out of the roof here on the scene. Again, this is in the area of 81st and Riverside. This is still a very chaotic scene right now, so fire crews very busy, have not been able to get much information from them, but we do believe that no one was hurt in this fire. Now, this started again shortly before 5 this morning. A lot of folks have gathered out here to look and see this fire, but again, no one has been hurt as a result of this. When we first arrived, you could actually see the plumes of smoke from about a mile away from here. Very dangerous situation for fire crews because this fire spread very quickly. We're going to continue to follow this story and bring you the very latest this morning and on KJRH.com. We'll send it back to you.
Neighbors in the Broken Arrow area hit by last night's storm are overcoming their shock this morning and getting to work on the cleanup process. 2 News reporter Patricia Santos is live on scene with more on how those neighbors are experiencing this.
Well, Dina, about half a dozen homes in this area where we are were impacted by this tornado. And of course, this tornado knocked down power lines. And as you can see right behind me, about 7 trees that were knocked down. And I want to show you right over here. This is about the type of debris that we're seeing out here. Just a lot of cleanup that needs to happen out here. But imagine living in this area here and seeing that tornado headed straight toward you and you're unable to do anything. Well, that's exactly what folks described last night.
We didn't see the tornado funnel, but we saw a lot of debris going around in a circle really low to the ground.
Terry Murphy and his wife could only run for cover as that tornado tore through their neighborhood.
I saw the tornado touch down, and so I just stayed right there because I didn't want to come into the area.
Mark Cochran could only watch helplessly from nearby.
So we didn't have much time. The sirens went off and the tornado hit in about 2 minutes after that.
After it was over, their homes were spared, suffering only minor damage from debris. But their neighbors right next door were were not so lucky.
It looked like it stayed on the ground for maybe a couple minutes, and it got to the edge of our neighborhood and then went back up into the clouds.
The tornado left holes in attics and brought down power lines, but they say it could have been worse.
They all feel very fortunate. There wasn't nobody injured that we know of.
Now it's time to do what neighbors do best.
Just everybody helping out like people from Oklahoma do.
And right now, a group with the Southern Baptist Disaster Relief is on site with chainsaws, ready to help with this cleanup for free. Live in Broken Arrow, Patricia Santos, 2 News, works for you.